This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai. Check out the Southtown Hyundai Advantage at southtownhyundai.ca.
Ever had a public speaking screw up? And the worst one I had is I tend to MC a lot of weddings.
How many have you done, do you think? 30?
26.
That's crazy.
November will be my 27th.
Have you ever had any that were like one of them was the same person?
No, but
like two weddings.
I do have a buddy who's coming up on round 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if he asked me. So I guess I just say, like, welcome back.
Don't say that.
But I usually use a lot of the same material. If it's a completely different group, I'll use like a joke I wrote or whatever for a different wedding.
Before you continue, my favorite thing is when the father of the bride gets up with his speech and uses it's so obvious that they just stole jokes
Google.
right from Google. They're always the exact same jokes, but you're still so proud of them for getting up there.
Weddings have 3 rings: the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and suffering.
That's literally one of them.
Okay, so anyway, I copy and pasted the whole, I guess, document, and then I just workshop it and go through and change the names where it works. And I did say the wrong bride's name once, but from the wedding I was at before, and then I had to explain.
You're like, oops, I just forgot to delete the
and
other
it ended
bride.
up being a pretty good joke. Like, people were laughing at the fact that I think they knew I emceed a lot of weddings.
Okay.
So they were cool that they rolled with the punches, but that could have been worse. Like, if it would have been an ex-girlfriend's name or something.
Right.
It wasn't, thankfully. That we got a text from Devin at 780-784-7107.
Yeah, times you screwed up saying a speech. Devin said, so at my sister's wedding I emceed, it was going well, and there was another person emceeing with Devin up there. We played an icebreaker game before dinner, and the bride, aka my sister's boss, and her husband were there. I didn't know his name, so I turned to the other MC and said, what's this guy's name? He ends up giving me the wrong name, and I introduced them. I got the worst glare. Everyone was yelling at me for it. And then he must have had too much to drink because he was so upset by the end of the night. Devin thought he had to throw hands with a 50-year-old man.
Which you always think you're going to win, and you just never do.
Especially at a wedding.
It's that old man strength. Mm-hmm. The reason we're talking about this is possibly one of the biggest screw-ups ever. And I mean, it's not that big a deal, and you can understand why it happened, but just the timing of this. It was while accepting the Best Music Film, the producer of Linda Ronstadt, The Sound of My Voice, meant to thank the directors Rob Epstein and Jeffrey Friedman. Yep.
Oh,
excellent. I want to thank Linda Ronstadt for allowing us to make this movie, and Rob Friedman, Jeffrey Epstein.
No. No.
Oops.
Oopsies.
107.
Mask game was strong last night at the Grammys, but I noticed most of the artists had matching masks to their outfits.
Yeah, I didn't know we were still trying with the whole mask fashion.
Yeah. Well, and I feel bad for the few artists that were like, oh, didn't get the memo, and they had their, like, blue one that they got from the hospital.
It's interesting because at the beginning of the year I say year, but
yeah, sure,
the pandemic
year.
So last March. Yeah, so the last year, I had so many different masks. Like, I had people sending me ones that they sewed, different colors, different ones from here at work. Now I have one. Where did they all go? They're like socks. They just disappear.
Yeah, I think we're going to be finding them in pockets for years. Like, it's the kind of thing where you're like, oh, I haven't worn this jacket in a long time. And you'll find 3 masks in it. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, I had probably, 10 that were in rotation, different colors.
You'd get home and you'd instantly wash it.
And then now I have like 2 that are bunched up in the same pocket. And I pull out one of those 2.
Yeah, and also I have one in my car. It's black. It's got stains all over it.
So it does match most of your outfits.
There was a study done that said that being around birds makes you happier. Hikers on trails, they say that if they heard different kinds of birds, it made the experience way more enjoyable and they felt better about life. A lot of Europeans said that they love when they're out for brunch and there's like little birds that come around and chirp. And this time of year with nesting season, you're going to be hearing a lot more birds chirping around. And I agree with this study in a sense, but have you ever had a hot dog in a football field when there's seagulls? Terrifying. Also, have you ever put peanuts out for the squirrels and then you come back 5 minutes later to check on to see if there's squirrels eating the nuts? Turns out there's a murder of crows on your lawn and you're like, that's a bad omen.
Okay.
Those two situations not ideal with more birds around, but
other than that,
I can kind of see where they're coming from.
Tell me something good.
Also, in the pandemic, a lot more people have birdhouses and little areas for them to drink their water. My sister was bragging the other day that finally a family of birds moved into her birdhouse. So people are just pumped to have them around.
Anybody. Just happy to see something new.
Some sort of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My story is from Vancouver. Mom was quite worried about her 10-year-old son who is autistic and struggles with extreme oral aversion and complex eating challenges.
Okay.
He has a highly sensitive gag reflex, and any food that he's not used to, he'll try to eat and it just doesn't work. So he did really like one thing that she could always lean on, which was this very specific type of waffle. Nature's Path maple cinnamon waffles.
Okay.
So they'd try new food with one meal a day, and then they'd go to the waffle if it didn't work, and then he knew he'd get his waffles one day. The company stopped making them. The brand discontinued the product. So it actually turned into a bit of a desperate situation where he hadn't eaten in 10 days and he hadn't drank in anything in 5 days, and he tried and he would just gag everything. So she reached out to the company. She set up a GoFundMe to help cover some waffle costs.
Yeah.
And the company found out about this and searched North America and got 8 cases of these waffles with freezers delivered to her house. So that'll keep her going for the next while. Plus, they got their company chef to take the commercial waffle making and teach her how to make it at home.
No way.
So now not only does she have a lot of these waffles, but she also has
the recipe,
a way to make them for her son.
Tell me something good.
We're doing Mask Up Monday. Loser has to wear a huge cardboard cutout of Taylor Swift's head. That's probably about 4 times a human head size.
Yeah, it's huge. It scared me when you brought it in.
While shopping today, the game we're doing for it is the sound off. So we both make noises to try to make the other person laugh. And they can't be actual words.
Okay.
Noises that we make, okay?
Yeah.
They just have to be noises.
Sounds.
Or like they could almost sound like a word, but it can't be an actual word.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes. So
Whoever laughs more loses. We'll do 3 rounds.
can you laugh at your own?
Yeah, I think you can probably giggle at your own a bit. You just can't laugh at the other person's.
Okay. But I'm already laughing.
Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Okay.
No. It's so hard, right?
Almost got me, yeah.
I know. I saw you smiling.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you're too good at this because you're cranky.
That's not. Oh, I was just choked up.
Was that your sound?
No, this is my sound. Oh.
No.
This is the funnest game. If you're listening right now, play this with your kids in the car. Take turns just making noises. It's so hard to not laugh.
Played it yesterday with my
Oh my
daughter in the
gosh,
car, and
it's
that's
so
when we
fun.
decided we had to do it on the air. All right.
Okay.
My second one. Come on, nothing?
No. Okay, my turn. Hee-haw, hee-haw. I'm just really happy that we get to laugh at our own because it's so hard.
It would be so awkward if neither of us were laughing.
Oh my gosh, I have tears in my eyes. Okay, your turn.
Boogie. That's 0 for 3.
Yeah, what do we do now?
Well, it's overtime.
Who's going first?
You're up. So close.
I know. Your face is so red.
Okay, my last one. Ready?
Okay.
For the win, potentially.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes! Yes!
No,
Yes!
it's not fair. You did a weird face. Your nostrils flared. I don't want to wear the Taylor Swift mask.
Too bad you lost. Yes. This is kind of cool. A bit of a breakthrough as far as migraine research goes, as there's a little more attention being drawn to just how serious it is. You've been an advocate for migraine awareness for quite some time, Lisa.
Yeah, because I've been getting them for so long. My mom actually told me that my grandmother got them all the time, and I never knew that. So I don't know if it's a genetic thing.
It seems like there could be a tie to that, but it also seems like there's a bunch of information nobody really knows about it.
Exactly. So this is really exciting. There were some scientists that won a prize for migraine research that provides a light at the end of the tunnel, potentially. And this quote says, the perception of the disorder has moved from this sort of wishy-washy thing into it being a serious neurological condition, a condition of the brain that you can study and it can be improved.
Yes, great.
So exciting. And I got a text from my friend Trish over the weekend, and she said, hey, I just wanted to reach out and ask you how your headaches have been lately. Mine have been really bad, and I think they're always bad in the spring when everything's melting. It just makes me think of you a lot. And
it could be allergies. That's a trigger for some people when it comes to headaches. But as far as migraine goes, it's more of the weather shift, right?
Right.
Like if you have drastic changes in the weather, I know that hits you, and it's just the pressure. Mm-hmm. Pressure changes, right?
But it's not only that. It could also be my cycle. There's so many factors. It could be neck tension after a good workout.
What does your bike have to do with it?
No, not that cycle.
Oh, okay. Like, are you biking really hard? You're not wearing a helmet?
If anybody wants the link for this research, this story about the scientists, you get migraines, hit me up.
And Lisa on Play 107.
It is time for Unsung Heroes. This is where we give shout-outs to relevant stuff. Sometimes facetious, always thought-provoking.
Shout out to another year of Oscar nominations of movies I've never seen, because on weekends, all I watch are Disney movies and Schitt's Creek episodes over and over again.
Shout out to driving through huge puddles and soaking unknowing pedestrians. It's like having a big water fight they didn't know they were in. It's so fun for everyone.
Don't do that. I'm always worried, especially when I see fragile old men going for walks. I just hope that they're aware of the puddles.
I usually honk at them a few times first to give them a heads up.
Don't do that either. Shout out to Cadbury cream eggs. Oh, you hate them? And you talk about it often? Okay, more for me then. They're so good. Do you like them? The cream-filled?
Yeah, I feel like they're wasted calories a bit. Like, I don't like them that much, but
they're so good.
Shout out to the try-hard parents for turning St. Patrick's Day into a full-blown kids event, making all us normal parents who just wanted to have a green beer spend their free time baking clover cakes and painting their kids' faces instead. Can we have one day for the adults?
No. It's fun for them.
Yeah,
I
it's fun.
actually, okay, so in elementary, we had just learned about leprechauns and that there are these little green flashing lights. They run really fast. Remember learning that?
Yeah.
And I went to the washroom, and I'm not kidding. I saw a bright green flashing light run across the floor. While I was on the toilet, I saw it like through the bottom of the stall. I'm serious. Shout out to tie-dye kits. Cool. I love this new outfit. It matches my dyed hands and forearms.
Shout out to thinking you're a kind and loving person until someone does something that is a slight inconvenience for you while driving.
I'm scared of who I become on the road.
Yeah, like I had a guy who didn't get over into the slow lane. I was not a good person for about 7 minutes.
Shout out to scrolling through Skip the Dishes and skipping everything that is something like a $10 dish with a $5 delivery fee. Absolutely not. So instead, I choose a free delivery item that's $15 instead. Good math, Lise.
And finally, shout out to the Netherlands, who posted a video of how they installed a drivable tunnel under a freeway in one weekend.
How?
Meanwhile, the LRT Valley Line construction for Edmonton East is now 95% complete. They're expecting to be finished by year 2046. That last 5%.
A lot of them are working very hard, Ryder.
I'm not talking about the employees.
Oh.
And the laborers. They're doing what they're told. But like, how long has that been under construction?
Long time.
Since Canada became a country.
Play 107.
So we thought the local tie to this next season of The Bachelorette was going to be Jasper Park Lodge, which booked all the rooms, and we're making the moves to be the host place for it. That ended up getting squashed because of COVID regulations and whatnot. Now there is a different local tie, as Caitlin Bristow, who's originally from Leduc, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And Tasha Adams will be the new hosts for next season. This after Chris Harrison has stepped down. I'm not sure if it's permanently or is just taking a couple seasons off because he defended contestant Rachel's photos when they resurfaced when she was dressed in a racist outfit, which dumb move on his part, put his foot in his mouth. He then apologized for it, saying, "I'm sorry, by excusing historical racism, I defended it." The Bachelorette responded with, "As we continue the dialogue around achieving greater equality and inclusion with the Bachelor franchise, we are dedicated to improving BIPOC representation of our crew." So there's what's going on with the Bachelorette season.
And apparently Katie is going to be the Bachelorette, which a lot of people were big fans of her. A lot of people are not big fans of her.
Yeah, she's got a bit of a polarizing character for sure. I've kind of watched the season on and off, and she's one of those people that, like, you could be watching with someone else and one of you loves her and the things she said and the moves she makes, and the other one can't stand her. So it'll be interesting season.
I'm really excited to watch Caitlin and Tasia host because I think both of them would be amazing daytime television hosts. So this is kind of a step in the right direction for them if that's something they're interested in.
Yeah, Caitlin has such good energy. She won Dancing with the Stars this past year. Like, most Bachelorette people might end up in Bachelor in Paradise and then they drift off to Neverland. You don't hear of them. Whereas she's kind of kept her foot on the gas. She has a very successful company. Now she's getting these hosting gigs. Good for her.
But I will say, as much as I love Caitlin, Nelly should have won Dancing with the Stars. Did you see him out there? He was trying so hard.
Yeah, that's not what counts, I don't think.
Okay.
If trying hard counted, I'd be like a professional athlete.
She has a dancing history, though.
Yeah.
She was a dancer her whole life, so I was like, is this fair?
No,
Come
I get
on.
it. It reminds me of the stand-up comedy contest for media members last year, where a guy who does stand-up comedy numerous times a week won. Okay. It's like playing a road hockey game and Connor McDavid shows up. You're like, oh, this is going to be fun. I'm in some trouble, some drama behind the scenes here today.
Yeah, there was a mass email that went out to everyone that's in the staff here. How embarrassing for you.
So we have a segment called Masked Up Mondays, where the loser of a bet has to wear a stupid mask out. And today we grabbed a cardboard cutout of Taylor Swift's head off the wall.
She looks great.
Yeah, it's probably, 4 or 5 times the size of a human head?
Yeah, it's huge.
Quite large.
Like, if you were to put it up against your face, you look like a bobblehead.
So Lisa lost the bet today, and we'll have to strap this Taylor Swift cutout on her head and go and order some food somewhere or whatever.
I will have a proper mask on underneath.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the email to the entire staff said, does anyone know what happened to Taylor Swift's head? The one that was on the wall with the signed guitar. If you have it, please return so we can cover up the gross stickies on the wall. Please don't make me look on the camera to see who the creep was that stole this head.
The creep.
Like, it was off there for half an hour.
Yeah, well, people notice these things.
So
don't mess around.
I replied all as well. And I said, you need to calm down. If the blank space bothers you, just shake it off.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't think they thought it was very funny.
Ryder and Lisa.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai.
Play 107.